The opinions expressed are those of the program host and guest and are not those of WSTU. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. The phone lines are open. Call in with your questions and comments at 220-9788. That's 220-WSTU. It's time for Stuart Laser Talk with your host, Dr. Tred J. Rizacker.
I'm 5'10" and 242 pounds.
I always say this is the biggest I'm ever going to be, and I said that like 20 pounds ago.
A third of Americans are obese, another third is overweight.
Obesity is the biggest threat to the health, welfare, and future of this country.
I've always been overweight.
I've got diabetes.
Sleep apnea, heart disease.
Everything's hurting now.
It's a lot easier to lose weight than it is to keep weight off.
This is probably going to be the first generation of children who are going to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents.
18% of our children right now are obese.
It's not only health, it's about survival and well-being of the United States as a nation.
You don't crave broccoli, and our generation has grown up craving a Big Mac.
I want to think that there's something better for me.
Unless we're able to control this epidemic, we're going to have an abundance of chronic disease.
All of us have to be part of the solution to reduce obesity.
The weight of the nation is out of control, but we can fix that.
If we don't now take this as a really urgent national priority, we are all going to pay a really serious price.
Obesity will crush the United States in oblivion.
Good morning. The laser lipo revolution is here. That's right. My name is Dr. Tred Rizacker, and I am a doctor of chiropractic, licensed in the great state of New York, and also here in South Florida, state of Florida. And I have a business called the Slim Body Laser Spa. I just want to thank you for tuning in over this next hour. My question is, how would you like to lie on your back for 30 minutes, 3 times per week for 3 weeks, and lose 1 to 5 inches of measured girth without any strict calorie reduction or excessive exercise? Does that sound enticing? Too good to be true?
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Let me repeat that. Lie on your back for 30 minutes, take a nap. You can text, you can listen to music, you can do your Zen Buddha meditation, laying on your back for 30 minutes, 3 times per week for 3 weeks, and lose 1 to 5 inches of measured girth. Now, girth is circumference. So 1, 3, 5 inches. I lost 4 inches of girth laying on my back 30 minutes, 3 times per week for 3 weeks. It sounds almost too good to be true, like it's a scam. I thought it was a scam. 8 years ago, I'm down in West Palm Beach at the North American Laser Conference for Laser Therapists, a group of medical doctors, physical therapists, different PhDs. They did some wonderful scientific presentations on the use of low-level laser and laser therapy for brain injuries and neurological damage, things like neuropathy and wound healing, really great for wound healing. And at the Saturday night, at the 5 o'clock meeting, the end of the conference on Saturday night for the break for the dinner, they had a sign in the waiting area that said, lose 3 to 9 inches of stubborn belly fat lying on your back, 9 sessions in 3 weeks, no surgery, no diet, no exercise, no pain. Come see this lipo laser demonstration. And I'm like, my wife was there, and I'm like, let's go check it out. I'm at a conference. It's legitimate. Let's see. Maybe they got something I don't know about. Anyway, so I went to this workshop, and I'm going to go in and tell you exactly what happened in the workshop. But that's the procedure that I brought to Stuart 8 years ago. And now we're in business about 7 years at the Slim Body Laser Spa. And we're really revolutionizing the way that people get thin, the way you can lose weight and body sculpt and get rid of those muffin tops and that stomach flab that you're frustrated with. It's an easier way to do it. It's easier than surgery. Well, it doesn't even compete with surgery because it's safe and you can't be hurt. And when it comes to including exercise and wellness and eating better together, the results are outstandingly effective. It's predictable, it's measurable, and you can see the results each and every time you do the treatment. If you're interested in a free consultation, I'm available always. My phone number is 844, toll-free 844, DR for doctor, and then just spell out Slim Body. 1-844-DR Slim Body. You can also look me up on the internet, Dr. Tread's SlimBodyLaserSpa.com. You can just put in SlimBodyLaserSpa.com. You could also put in our old name, Stuart Laser Spa. You'll find it there. Or you could just type in my own name, which is very unique, Dr. Tread, T-R-E-D, and you'll find the Slim Body Laser Spa.
Not too many Dr. Treads out there.
No, it's absolutely not. I was very fortunate. My parents gave me a unique name.
They were like, we got to give this kid a marketable name.
It was tough in the beginning when I was younger, but it's definitely been a boost today. Although I can't get away with anything nowadays. There's only one Dr. Tread. It used to be, you're not John Doe. So this laser is available, and it's each laser treatment. It's 3 times a week for 3 weeks, and you're 30 minutes on the laser itself, relaxing, and then after the 30 minutes, you need to mobilize and remove those fatty acids. Everybody says, "Where does the fat go? Where does the fat go? If it's not, where's it going? If it's shrinking it so fast, where's it going?" Mm-hmm. And that's a great question, and it's probably the number one question people ask when they come into the laser spa. And what it does is, you see, you're dealing with an outer layer of fat called the subcutaneous compartment, and that's really the fat that you store on the outer part of your body in front of your muscles. So that would be the stuff that you could squeeze with your fingers. And the laser changes the permeability of the fat cell. It basically weakens the fat cell membrane, and the fatty acid, glycerol, and water is released from the fat cells, kind of like a grape that is filled with fluid and a little bit of pulp. If you could gently massage the grape so the fluid kind of was oozed out of it but didn't damage the grape itself, that's what the laser does. So it very gently, over a series of 8 to 10 minutes, when you apply it to that layer of fatty tissue, it emulsifies, it loosens it up, and that fatty acid turns to fluid. It's liquefied without damaging the tissue. And that's very important to understand that, because a lot of the procedures, the cool sculpting, the hot lasers, the ultrasonic cavitation, the radio frequency machines, they target the same fatty layer, but they destroy the tissue. They damage the cells so they die. And their mechanism is absorbing these dead, destroyed tissue layer from the heat or from the cold or from the, the electronic cavitation. And then your body has to absorb that as dead tissue. And that's not what we do at the Slim Body Laser Spa. The Slim Body Laser Spa, when you put the laser on those fat cells and it releases that fatty acid, it's viable. It's energy for your body. It's something that you need and you can utilize, and we encourage that. And the way you utilize it is with something called whole body vibration. So you got to get the calories shaking and moving. You got to get them out of the system. You got to get them into the visceral system, and then you need to burn them as energy. So the only restriction on food at the spa is no food 2 hours before the laser and no food 2 hours after the laser. And just eat light, clean, green, lean, as Juan would say, chicken, chicken, chicken. Eat more chicken.
That's it. That's going to help me out in the kitchen. Chicken, chicken, chicken. Eat more chicken.
Eat more chicken. and you'll be more than pleased with your results. Okay, I have a guest, someone who's calling to share their story with us. Alma, are you there?
I Dr. Tread. How are you?
Hey, nice to hear your voice. Oh my gosh. So you're calling us. You know that, right?
I am. I did. I pushed the numbers.
Yes, you did. And you know, I don't want you to be nervous, but the listener audience is estimated between 8,000 and 15,000 at any one time when we're here on the air.
Oh, wow.
But they tune in because they love us.
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
It's like a warm audience. You have nothing to fear.
I'm fearless. You know that.
That is the truth. Okay, so share your story, Alma. Go for it.
Well, I first discovered the Slim Body Laser Spa as I had seen some of your literature, and then I ended up meeting your lovely wife somewhere along the line and invited me in for a consultation. I was skeptical in the beginning.
Yeah, sure.
I am an avid exerciser, and I try to eat right and follow all of the guidelines for being healthy overall. I think that it's a lifestyle. And but some of the things that I learned on your video and in my consultation with you were very informative. I did not know some of the things that it advised me of with regards to the layers of the fat,
the compartments, the fat.
Yeah, the ones
where you
that
store
don't
calories.
go away no matter how many sit-ups you do. There's nothing you can really do for them, but besides some type of surgery to tighten that up, cut it out, whatever it is they do. But it's never been an option for me with affordability.
Or for anybody else.
Yeah.
Remember that. No,
why I would you consider?
That's the beautiful part about these new laser technologies. It's really replacing the need for liposuction in many cases, not in all cases, but
yeah, it's just scary to go under the knife or something like that. So I think that doing
I don't even like having an injection, like a cortisone injection. Ooh, I understand.
Yeah, I'm not big on invasive. So with the video and consulting with you, there was I think I was convinced that it could work for me.
It made sense. It was reasonable.
Yes, and so my gut. I went with my gut. No pun intended.
You led with your gut, and you left it there after 3 weeks.
And I moved forward, and in the first 9 treatments, I did lose 4.5 inches.
Wow.
So I was very pleased with that. They give us the before and after photos. And that helps to, measure the authenticity of the loss. It's also very important that you stick to the recommendations with the not eating, before and after, completing exercise, and the water, drinking of the water, because I've always been a big water drinker, but it's almost like a chore for me to drink water because I hate going to the bathroom so much. But it's necessary. So you just have to be really committed to the program to get its effectiveness, and keeping together the holistic view of what the program entails, not just doing the actual lasering, but everything around it was important to ensure that you were getting the most for your money.
Yeah, it's a healthy program, whereas many of the procedures that just remove tissue, whether it's through cold or heat, they don't really make you healthier. They might change a look, but they don't make the body healthier. I think that's really important.
Yeah, putting it back on is just I don't want to let that happen. And it's easy to put it back on. It's so much easier to put it back on. So I think that it kind of motivated me and spurred me into, that lifestyle change is going to be. I mean, I don't deny myself the finer things in life, like a cake or a cheeseburger, but it's not every day. It's a treat. It's once a week. It's every now and again I'll do something. In conjunction with your program, I felt that the staff there was very supportive.
Thank you.
Your wife and can't remember her name. Ashton, I think is her name. Yeah, she's great. Beautiful girl. Really knows her stuff. She gave me the metabolic test, which I'd never had one in my life before.
Wow. We're going to talk about that today, actually.
Yeah. I never had known about that test. I mean, I've heard of it, but I never had one performed to my knowledge. And to learn that I had, I won't say my weight, but 120 pounds of my weight is muscle. So that was nice to know.
That's right. And it gives you the amount of calories that your body is consuming at rest. It's called your resting caloric intake, BMR. And most people don't know that. And based on your age, your weight, your height, your gender, your level of exercise, it's a set point. It's a caloric amount that your body has adapted to. And to be successful at maintaining weight, you have to eat that amount. If you eat over that, you're going to gain weight again. If you want to lose weight, you got to take that in. And most people aren't mindful of that. And I bet if I asked you today how many calories you had already since this morning and how much you average in the day, I bet you're pretty close to that number. I bet you know what it is.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I do. I know how much I take in.
That's right.
And I'm not a counter. Just by the scope of what it is, I know whether it was too much that day.
You're mindful.
Mm-hmm.
You become mindful. I know how many calories I had today. For within 200 or 300, I'm pretty clear on that because my BMR is about 2,000 calories. That's what mine. It's actually was 2,400, and it's gotten better since I lost the body fat and I've increased my muscle tone. It's actually gone up, but I still stay within that 2,400 calorie amount, and that's key. I mean, people get heavy because they just eat too much. And they don't know the calorie count or the what type of food they're putting. You're not really thinking about it, and then they end up wondering, I get fat. I'm getting fat. So we work really hard on teaching people that and getting people to be mindful of that. Well, that's great, Alma. And so it was around your midsection you got those results?
Yes, the midsection and right around where the bra hugs me on the back side. Have always been my problem area there. No matter how many jumping jacks and push-ups, and it really, and I can tell not even by looking, but just how my clothes fit when I put it on in the morning.
That's nice. That's nice. All right. Thank you so much for that. And anything else?
Well, I would just say to those listening out there that it's definitely worth the money that I invested and the attention that you get at the facility is really great. So I would definitely recommend it. Thanks, Dr.
That's the best compliment anybody can give me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, Alma. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
I always find it interesting when the callers call in and they say, yes, I'm an exercise person. I like to diet and exercise and I do all this stuff and I had this fat that I just couldn't get off and boom, the laser gets it right off.
Yeah. And she said 4.5 inches. Now, it might not seem like a lot, but if you're in the kind of shape she's in, and she is in good shape, it was very targeted to the areas that were her problem areas.
Sure.
And why not? Why not? You're not losing your body parts. You're not donating tissue for samples. This laser is so non-invasive. It's actually a healthy procedure. It makes you healthier. Well, nobody can say that about so many of the other procedures.
And I think it just goes to show diet and exercise can get you results, but only so far. You have to put in so much work that most people just can't do it. Most people can't get the results that they're looking for through diet and exercise.
I do want to be clear about it, and that is that this is good whether you're in great shape, bad shape, overweight, not overweight. It's something that it's another tool that you have in your repertoire of being healthier. I'm going to be doing some ads in the Stuart News, and I'm writing up some ad copy. And one of the ad copies that I'm going to lead with is really has something which has come really clear to me since I've been doing this, and that is if the only tool you have is exercise to maintain and sustain your weight, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Think about that. If the only tool you have is exercise and to keep your weight down, you're going to be in trouble. And why is that? You want to talk about that?
Oh, there's so many different things that I mean, first off, if you're just exercising and not worrying about your diet, it's easy to overeat.
And how many people do that when we're younger? I mean, that was my MO.
Yeah.
I didn't want to restrict calories. I like to eat. I like the feeling of eating. I like the types of food.
Absolutely.
And to me, it was, as long as I exercise a lot, it was never a problem.
Right.
Is that true?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right. And so how long do you think that lasts? That kind of mentality. You never really learn about food. You don't learn about your BMR. You're powering calories down because you're burning calories.
Yeah, well, I can tell you that the mental aspect of that, it feels like it still works long after it stopped working. Because a lot of people feel like, well, I'm working out, I don't need to worry about what I'm doing. And that's just, unfortunately, it's not the case.
Well, it still is, really. If you can exercise a massive amount, you can eat a lot more calories. But, life happens.
Mm-hmm.
Jobs happen, right? You get a job. All of a sudden, you used to be a counselor. You were, summertime, you were the lifeguard at the pool. And in the wintertime, you were teaching kids gymnastics and, being real active. And all of a sudden, you're 40 years old and now you're the supervisor of the pool, superintendent, and the exercise place, you're the owner now. And you're in there doing books and stuff and you're not exercising as much.
Or heck, even just when I was in college, being a server on my feet for 8 hours a day.
That's right.
And then going from that to an office job, my first grown-up job. And there's a huge difference between being on your feet and running around and breaking a sweat at work and sitting on your behind at a computer.
If the only tool you have is exercise to keep your weight off and you're not mindful of calories, you're in trouble.
Big time.
So in order to be, proper about this, you really have to understand calories also, which is basically quality of food you eat, the type of, the quality of it, and would be the portion control, and then the frequency, how often you eat it. That's really... And most people can't answer that. They know, but they don't practice it. So what would be good quality versus bad quality? And think of what habits people have that are so common and so devastating to their health.
Well, I could tell you 400 calories worth of grilled chicken breast is different than 400 calories of Reese's Pieces.
Absolutely. So pound cake is much different in quality than than pieces of protein.
Yeah.
But how many people think it's okay to munch on chips?
Sure.
Nachos,
I'll just have a couple.
Doritos are they're the most popular sale item, I think. I bet people eat more Doritos than they drink beer at the Super Bowls. Right?
It's close.
It's darn close.
It's close.
And there's no nutritional quality or benefit from eating Doritos.
You mean that fake cheese dust doesn't have any?
I don't even know what's in it, but it sure makes you want more.
Cornstarch.
Did you know that most of your sodas early in their onset, back in the 1800s, all were stimulants to get you to, they put ingredients to make you come back for more?
Sure.
I was listening. Did you ever hear about 7-Up?
No.
Did you know what 7-Up was?
No.
7-Up had lithium in it.
Lithium? What's that?
Lithium. That's the drug they give you when you're in the treatment center or the lithium. It's called the lithium shuffle, the Thorazine shuffle.
I know Thorazine shuffle.
Right. It's lithium is it's a drug which it's a mood stabilizer.
Wow.
Lithium? No, you never heard of that.
I've heard of lithium batteries.
You've heard of lithium batteries. That's right. Well, lithium is a very, very powerful narcotic.
Wow.
And and they used to put that in 7-Up until the government outlawed it.
Sure.
And what is the basis behind Coca-Cola?
Yeah.
They still have the name Coke.
Yeah.
They used to put cocaine in there, and because it was a stimulant. So this foods that are successful, that people want, have a basis of stimulant, a desire to want more.
And I've heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard that they say Oreos are just as addicting as drugs like cocaine.
Well, because of the basis of the fructose, of the the sweetener, the corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup has the same chemical compound as ethyl alcohol as booze.
Wow.
But it doesn't get you high.
Right.
But the chemical, the sugars, which is what alcohol is, right? Sugars?
Yes.
You ferment fruit and ferment malt and barley and hops, and it breaks down into sugars, and then with yeast it forms the ethyl alcohol, the alcohol. Okay, but that bond looks exactly similar to what corn syrup is, to high fructose corn syrup or fructose. Fructose, and they're both metabolized by the liver. The body digests them in the liver, not in your gut. So alcohol causes fatty liver disease. Chronic alcoholism leads to steatorrhea. It's a very complex name, but it's basically a fatty liver, which eventually leads to liver cirrhosis and leads to liver failure and liver death.
None of that sounds good.
From chronic alcoholism. Well, chronic sugar intake can also lead to fatty liver disease, can lead to the chronic problems of fat being deposited in all areas of the body. And then eventually the liver starts to fail, and you can have cirrhosis and die of liver disease from having too much fructose. Now, fructose is fruit sugar. Remember that. Or sugar that comes in within corn and certain other things. And when it comes naturally and it still has fiber in it, like eating fresh fruit, it's not the same as when it's been concentrated and it's been removed from the fruit. When they remove the sugar from the fruit, they get rid of all the fiber, all the nutrients are gone.
Right.
So, fruit is good because it has a lot of fiber and nutrients and some fructose. So it makes you like it.
Yeah, sure.
But if you could concentrate, take the sugar out, the fructose out, get rid of all the nutrients and all of the fiber, now you've got a very highly potent sweetener, which is, I think, I don't know the exact number, but 4 to 6 times sweeter than table sugar.
Ooh.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
So when they use fructose, high fructose corn syrup, in drinks and stuff, you would think because it's 4 times sweeter than sugar, they would use less of it, right? Does that make sense?
I mean, you would think.
I mean, you put 1 teaspoon of sugar in and you like the taste, and a fourth of that would give you the same sweetener using fructose.
Sure.
So wouldn't that make sense? Lessen the sugar?
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the food industry and in these places that sell these products, the more fructose you have, the more desire, the more addicting, the more you want more. I don't want to say it's addicting. That's mean. That's rude to these soda manufacturers. But it's well proven that fructose is something that you crave. And so they put in 4 times the amount of fructose. And you know how they offset it? With salt.
Really?
Yeah, I was reading about this. Sodas have the high fructose. That's why you see 26 grams, 36 grams of sugar in these drinks. Look at the back, right? 28, 36. I saw the Peak iced tea, which actually is a little bit of a lower one, but the Gatorades, 28, 36 grams of sugar.
Yeah, there's a lot of sugar in there.
If you took, and the way you can figure out that is if you take half of those grams, that's how many teaspoons of sucrose, which is table sugar, it would take. So if you've got 30 grams, 15 teaspoons is how much is in that drink.
Wow.
Now, if you put 15 teaspoons of sugar in a glass of water, flavor it with a little bit of lime, it would be devastatingly sweet, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can offset that by putting salt in it. It's a buffer. It decreases the sweetness.
Wow.
And that's what they do. And they call it sodium.
So you still get that physical reaction of your body getting
more.
Yeah, you want more.
Just like alcohol.
Wow.
And there's this is not Dr. Tread's information, by the way. This is a guy by the name of Dr. Robert Lustig.
Okay.
And he's out of Berkeley, and he's an endocrinologist. And he has an excellent program on YouTube. And he's the one that's really just exposing fructose for what it is. And it's very dangerous. It's a poison. It's a toxin. And his name of his program is called Sugar, the Bitter Truth. If you'd like a link to that, let my staff know. You can use my email, slimbodylaserspot@gmail.com. Say you'd like a link to that study, and I will send you that link.
Mm-hmm.
But when I listened to his talk, it was very, very, truthful and motivating. And then he statistically showed how this explosion in obesity is directly related to the day that they made high fructose corn syrup into a food group. It used to not be considered a food group. It was an outside substance. I don't know how they classified it. But once they decided to subsidize the corn growing industry, the farmers to make more of this, because what happened is when they stopped making corn for food, the farmers lost money, so they had to subsidize it because they started replacing it with sugar, making corn syrup out of the corn. And they had to subsidize that, the government did, to keep them going, which is bizarre, because why would you want to subsidize something that could be so toxic? And now this high fructose corn syrup is in everything, and it's a big problem.
What about something like orange juice? Like I almost fell out of my chair when I flipped around and I looked at the label and saw the amount of sugar in a cup of orange juice. And I used to always think that I was being healthy by drinking orange juice in the morning, and it looks like all I was doing was drinking sugar.
Well, in somebody whose metabolism is functioning properly, their weight is of normal size, they're exercising, they're active, those things aren't a problem. It's the person who is sedentary, who's not exercising, whose metabolism is slowed down, and they're drinking too much juice, and that makes them fat. It absolutely does. And another thing which I think is interesting, what is the usual size of a juice in the morning? How small is it? It's like 8 ounces, right? They give you these little cups.
Oh, if you're talking about going to a restaurant?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little tiny, almost a shot glass,
right.
It feels like.
That's how much you should have.
Right.
What do we have? The mega size. We're drinking, 16 ounces of fruit juice.
Portions are out of control.
And the other thing is, too, the using of fruit juice to feed your children is really foolish also. It's like the Apple and Eve brand, these brands that they say natural, no sugar added, and it's a healthy, you look like moms are like, God, I don't want to give my kids soda. Mm-hmm. So they give them juice in these juice packs, and they're loaded with sugar.
Yeah.
So my suggestion is water it down. My mom always watered down juices for us when we were children.
Interesting.
Always. And she used to make fruit pops, ice pops, out of those juices that were watered down by sticking the little sticks in that thing, the freezer,
Nice.
and do that. That was what my mom did. And I'll tell you something else my mom did. No dairy products.
No?
No. She had been reading and had saw that maybe the feeding children cow milk is maybe not the best thing for them. Cow milk has growth hormones in it, and it's even though the dairy industry relies on it, it really shouldn't be a main source of liquid for children. In small amounts, I guess it's probably acceptable, but that was her decision, and we were brought up without milk. No big deal. I never even missed it. In fact, it's kind of grosses me out now when I drink it. It's like it's not water, and I think where'd this come from?
Yeah.
I don't think it's really what I want to quench my thirst. I drink because I'm thirsty.
I was forced so
Although
much
I do
milk.
like chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk is delicious, but I was forced so much milk at dinner time when I was a kid. I can't have a glass of it. I just can't do it.
No, yeah.
I've had too much.
My wife's like that with bananas. That's all her mom gave her was bananas where she grew up. She can't even stand the smell of them.
Oh, wow.
All right. So you're listening to the Slim Body Laser Spa Health and Wellness Show. My name is Dr. Rissacker, and we're open for consultations. 772-223-5885. I have an 844 number that's a toll-free 844-DR. Slim Body, SLIMBODY. You don't need to look up these numbers. All you got to do is go to the internet, go to your smartphone, click in, hit Siri, and tell them you'd like the phone number for Slim Body Laser Spa, Dr. Tread Slim Body Laser Spa. Boom, it'll go right to it. We're definitely available. Things are great. Life is good. The technology is helping us in so many ways, as is this new laser technology. So I heard about the laser about 8 years ago at this conference I was at in West Palm Beach. And it was a North American concert of laser therapists. And at the end on Saturday, they had a workshop that you could attend, and you could learn about this new laser lipo technology called the LAPEX BCS, body contouring system. And I'm like, let's check it out. I told my wife, I said, the lasers are pretty amazing, and God, what if this thing works? So we went and sat in on this workshop, and then they took a gentleman from the audience who was a doctor, and he was a little, as we all get, a little thicker around the midsection. You know, he's probably a 38, 40 waist size, and they measured him in 3 spots. They took a tape that was, they measured his belly button an inch below and an inch above, and then they also measured it on the side. And then they had somebody come up from the audience, one of the doctors that was there, as the witness, and then they measured the girth in 3 spots. Okay, and they wrote it down, and then they applied these laser paddles that looked like, the paddles are about as big as a cell phone. And they're thin like that. And in the paddles are these laser diodes are buried within the paddle. So if you were to hold the paddle up, it would shine red light on the wall, but you hold it down on the skin. Now, it's a very low energy, a very low level energy. It's not the same as a laser that you would see for skin resurfacing, like a Fraxel or a tattoo removal laser or hair removal. None of those. Those are very high-powered machines. The laser we use at the Slim Body is a very low energy. It's called cold laser technology, and that's because it doesn't cause any heat. That's the way they classify it. So it's a class 3B laser. Apply this. So this gentleman, they sat him in a chair, and then they applied the laser technology to his midsection. Every 10 minutes, bing, the bell would go off, and they would move the paddles to a different spot. They covered his lower abdomen by his waistline. They covered up above his under his chest, and then on the sides where you might call your love handles. And they left it on for 50 minutes. Now, the technology today has improved. That was 8 years ago. Now we have a 30-minute time frame, but that was a 50-minute time frame at the time. No pain, no swell. I mean, there was no damage at all. He just sat there and listened to the presentation. When they remeasured him, he had lost an inch in all 3 of those spots, a complete inch in those 3 areas they measured. So, you know, an inch times 3 is 3 inches. And his pants were visibly, you know, were loose. And I'm saying, man, that was like in an hour. This guy lost an inch. And my first thought is it's only water, right? It's
sure.
You can dehydrate. That's what a wrap does, this crazy wrap thing. It dehydrates you. And water released comes in and out of the cells very quickly.
Okay.
So it goes out and it comes back just as quickly. Have you ever been on, you haven't been on any boat cruises yet, but you will.
Oh, I've been on them, yeah.
Have you ever had done a wrap? Did your wife ever do the wrap?
We've never done them, but we usually do the tour of the salon that first day, and they always show it.
Right. And so, you know, it's great for somebody that night because that morning, that day, you can do the wrap. You can lose an inch or so, and then you can go out and look better in your dress, but the next day it comes back. And that is not what the lipo laser does. The lipo laser releases the calories. So I asked the question to the guy that did the presentation that day in West Palm Beach 8 years ago. I said, all right, he definitely lost inches. You can see that, but is it just water? You know, is it going to come back tomorrow? And he said, that's a great question, Doc. And he explained to me the difference between dehydration and releasing fatty calories. Now, remember, your body stores water within the fat cells. I mean, that's your body's mechanism. So a fat cell, not only does it hold fatty acid and glycerol, which is your energy for sustaining energy, for making glucose, it also holds like 60% water. Where else would water be held? You know, you drink water, your body is, I think, like 90% water or something. The weight has to be somewhere. It's in the fat cells. So yes, water is released. But unlike a wrap that just releases water, this actually releases the fatty acids and the glycerol at the same time. The entire cell is emptied, not just the water being sucked out of it or dehydrated out. And he told me that after 2 to 6 weeks following a 6-treatment protocol, the study showed that people maintain the inch loss 6 to 8 weeks afterwards. And they had the study to show that. Well, I mean, that was his claim. I very skeptic, and I'm not skeptic. I'm just smart, like, well, great. You make a lot of money selling these lasers, don't you? So I was like, well, I'll think about it. And we left. And we talked to my wife about it, and it seemed very interesting, but I wasn't quite ready to turn into a fat laser lipo spa,
Right.
It seemed like it was technology that was available and great, but I didn't see the value at that time for me to do it. And it was kind of an unusual story, but what happened is I came back to my office that week. Now, understand, I've been using lasers for pain relief for probably 4 years up to that point. They had, and these, it's the same technology as the lipo laser. It's just the laser, when it comes to pain relief, is a more focused energy. It's in one, it's like a flashlight.
Okay.
Whereas the lipo laser is more like wrapping a towel around somebody. That's the way it's applied. And people, if you're suffering with joint pain, neuropathy, chronic sharp pain in your hand, wrists, elbow pains, and you're having injections, if you're taking medication to mediate for chronic pain, you need to check out the pain lasers. The pain lasers are phenomenal at managing chronic painful conditions. They actually can cure the problem. In many cases, it can resolve it. It might not resolve it, but it is a management tool where you'll take less medicine, you'll need less injections, and if there's nothing you get from this talk today, just know that Class 4 and Class 3 low-level lasers are absolutely superstars at helping people with chronic pain. And right now, at the Slim Body Laser Spa, I don't have the facilities to do the pain laser like I did at my chiropractic office. However, I'll put a plug in. My brother, Dr. Todd Rissacker, and my sister, Dr. Caroline Rissacker, they have an office in Jensen Beach. It's right at Jensen Beach Boulevard in US 1 in the Hobby Lobby there in that plaza.
Yeah.
Where the Buffalo Wild Wings are.
Sure.
They have my pain laser technology is in their office.
Excellent.
And that's what they use for people because they don't do the lipo laser. And they really were interested in doing the laser. And since I had the machines, I brought that protocol there. So you can call them, a Better Life Chiropractic Center, or you can call my office if you're interested in being referred over there. And I just can't say enough for, why take a chance of getting hooked on opiates.
Mm-hmm.
This is, God, you could have hours and hours of talk on opiates and why. But, that's a solution for many of you out there. And you're good people. It's not your fault that you got hooked on those drugs. They were given to you by the people you trust.
Sure, absolutely.
The people who are the leaders and they cared for you since you were a baby. And now they're giving you these pills that turn you into a monster. An addictive person. It's scary.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the pain laser, the low-level Class 3 devices, the Class 4 lasers that you're seeing at chiropractic offices, that you're seeing at physical therapy centers, can be a solution for those problems. So I was doing the pain laser very successfully at my chiropractic office when I went to this meeting and I saw this lipo laser. So I came back and I told the staff about it. And one staff member in particular, who is, she's 40, I guess she was 43, 44 years old.
Okay.
Had a hysterectomy when she was in her 30s, and has 3 beautiful children that are all in perfect physical shape. And she at one point was absolutely, perfect weight, proportional, everything until she had this hysterectomy. And as a result of that, her hormones changed because when you have a hysterectomy, it's hard to keep those hormones balanced. And basically she started to gain weight no matter what she did, even though she exercised and was real conscious about food, doesn't drink alcohol. She just started getting this thickening. And I call it the thickening. That's going to be another ad and tard, this thing about if the only tool you have is exercise, you're in trouble.
Yep.
Well, the next one is going to be called the thickening.
Okay.
Because that's what it's like. You're just getting thick. You're really not overeating. You're not making mistakes. You're not exercising. You're doing everything, but you're getting thickening. And it's around the midsection. And she suffered with that. And it was quite a problem. And, I wish that as passionate compassionate and thoughtful we can be about people, really most people go through what they go through, regardless of what you think. And she was struggling with this issue and was very emotional about it. And when I told her about the machine, she's like, "Did you get it? Did you get it? Did you get it?" And I'm like, "Well, no, I didn't. I saw it, and I saw it worked." And she goes, "Oh my gosh, you got to get it. You got to get it." And I'm like, listen, that thing's expensive, you know. It was like $70,000. I mean, my X-ray machine was $25,000. It took me 10 years to pay it back.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't see spending that kind of money. And she's like, "I'll help you. I'll help you. Let's do this. I can help you with this. I want to do this thing. And there's nobody else around here that does it." And I went home that night with my wife, and we thought about it and we talked about it. And I said, let's take her up on it. She wants to be part of it. Maybe it can help. And basically, she helped with that initial lease payment back in 2008.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That was a long time ago, man.
Yeah, it
I'm
was.
being honest here. I didn't jump into this thinking it was, I've been thinking about this my whole life. This was through every advance and every positive thing that has grown with the lipo-laser business has come from other people showing me and teaching me. And I'm open for things. I'm open-minded, and I move forward because I don't have much fear, but I don't really see the value sometimes, and she did. So we promised with a payback that she would help with the finance in the very beginning because they have a successful business, and long story, it was put on a credit card that had no balance on it.
Oh.
And I was able to make those payments. So that was the agreement. So we got the machine, and I'm like, it was on this this pedestal that was a stand for it that was like $2,500 for the stand. And I'm
wow.
Oh my God, what is this? I could have bought a little roller table for it, but it had these LED lights that were multicolored that went around the base. It was like a plexiglass, and it really looked cool.
Okay.
So I put that in my chiropractic office by the adjusting tables. Now understand, I'm a pretty high volume practitioner. I'm seeing 300-400 people a week in my office.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people going by there, and we set that stand up with that lipo laser with a sign: lose 3 to 9 inches of stubborn fat while you lie on your back and listen to music. And people trust me. They believe in my what I do, especially my own patients. And there was like 10 or 15 people that, if you'd like to attend a workshop, sign up here. We had a sign-up sheet in the adjusting area. And we signed up 11 people for that first workshop. And it was on a Wednesday. I did it at 6 o'clock, and I copied the same workshop that I saw in West Palm Beach.
Oh, wow.
We took somebody from the audience. I showed them, and we measured them, and then we put the laser on them, and then I talked about food and how the laser worked. And then at the end of it, we remeasured the person, and we had someone up who saw that it was done. We didn't manipulate the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, his name was Ralph Testa.
Okay.
I'll never forget it. It was a husband. This guy, you're going to think I'm lying to. I know you are. He lost 7 inches.
7
in
inches?
30 minutes on that machine.
In one session, he lost 7 inches?
Yep. He lost 2 inches. He lost 2 inches on his lower belly. He lost 3 inches on the middle. And then he lost, it was 3, 2, and 2. So
okay.
3, 2, and 2. He lost 3 inches at his top, 2 inches at his middle, and 2 inches at his lower abdomen.
That's incredible.
It was incredible, and you could see the difference. He had this soft fat, and the type of metabolism he had, it was gone.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, let's do that measurement again. I said, I said, please, this is not normal. Well, what do you think happened? All 11 people signed up.
Sure.
Yep, they did. And I had, I've been a chiropractor for 28 years, and I have financing available. We made things affordable and was easy to do it. And that was the first workshop at my office. I signed 11 people, and I didn't really have the other rooms were being used for the pain laser. So I set it up in my consultation area. I bought a lazy boy chair, and they could sit back in the chair. And I know the importance of video and TV. People they'll sit for hours if you got something they can watch.
Sure.
Just like JetBlue, Started with the videos. They get much less complaints if people can watch TV. So
Absolutely.
I set up a nice little DVD thing and put in some nice tapes, which is part of what we do at the spa today.
Mm-hmm.
And that I got off on my feet. I mean, that's how it all started, in that one room in that chiropractic office. And that was in the summer. By the winter of that next year coming up, that was summertime. By then, I'd already had 2 machines and was opening the Slim Body on East Ocean Boulevard. That's how quickly it grew.
Wow.
It went from, this 11 to another 14 people signed up, to workshops at the Marriott, and every 2 weeks I do a workshop. I go to the fairs. Nobody knew about it. Oh my God, I want to try it. We had testimonials. It was just and that was by 2009. I'm open at the place in East Ocean Boulevard.
Yeah.
And I maintained my chiropractic office for 3 years while I opened in Stewart at the laser spa. And it just came a point where it was just taking over everything, my time, my effort. And, the growth has been just outrageous.
Oh, yeah.
4,000 or 5,000 people, 7 years now. So you can't go wrong with the Slim Body, I'm telling you. Please give us a call. I'm always available for free consultations. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pictures to look at, as many testimonials as we have room on the walls to put them. I'm sure you're going to know people that have been in there. It really is a solution if you're struggling to lose weight, to feel better, to look better. It is a solution that's safe. So that's all I can really say about it. Phone number is 844-DR-SLIM-BODY. It's the slimbodylaserspa.com, or just walk in, come down. We're very open. You'll see Ashton there. We have a new girl, Christina, who's doing fantastic. I want to give a shout out to Christina. We found an awesome tech to help us out. And of course, Juan Wisa is there, and she is the boss. So I want everyone to know that, yes, I still have my dogs, and I'm letting them out. I whistle, and they know I'm coming home before I go into work. We're going to let them out. See you next week. Thank you so much.